Ooh, Fredo.
Hey, yeah, I'm back into the barricade. What I'm doing, counting up money from this year I made. Last year was a different story, but this year I'm paid. Just do 6:30 in the club, I let it ricochet. Extreme rules ain't enough, I put him in a cage. Now it ain't nowhere to hide, you about to catch this fade. Hey, if rap was wrestling, I'm in the Hall of Fame. Playing games better acknowledge me like I'm Roman Reigns. Hey, but you can't see me though. Took a break, now the final boss back with the demon flow. The innovator, I just do the stuff that they ain't seen before. I'm like the Undertaker, a tombstone to put you where you need to go. A match against me and Dog out for showstopper. I'm in the booth with sweet cheer music, I'm the showstopper. Like the Midnight Express, I'm on the road rock. They screaming no mas, I'm old mas, dog, I'm a whole problem. You got the money in the bank, I need the whole profit.
What's going on, everybody? MTG Gaming here on the FTW podcast, and me and Boss Man, we about to go over TNA Genesis. And your boy was there in Dallas last weekend, and I had a blast. People, going to the TNA show, you'll definitely get your money's worth because a lot of people are sleeping in TNA. And honestly, I wish I would have kept watching, even when it was still Impact Wrestling. I should have kept watching because they were still putting up banger matches because I was trying to catch up before I started watching it again. So they changed the brand back to TNA. So yeah, I should have never slept on a coma on them. But yeah, so I was sitting second row at the event. Your boy was sitting at second row with my United States title. I wanted to show this off to everybody, and I got it signed by the Hardy Boys. As you can see, there's Matt and Jeff right there that signed my United States champion, bro. And the Hardy Boys are MTG's all-time favorite tag team. So having this and having to meet them in person and taking a picture with them and etc. was fucking awesome. And my childhood self is just going nuts right now meeting them. And and I already met Jeff before. I just never met Matt. So it was my first time meeting Matt and my second time meeting Jeff, and it was in Dallas. So there you go. That's it. And I picked up a little something out there in Texas. Here it is. Bret the Hitman Hart action figure right here. And this attire is actually my favorite Bret Hart attire, where he's wearing all the pink. Let me show it to you guys. Let me see if I can get some lighting here. There it is. This is where he's wearing all the pink, and he comes with the WWF title and the pink sunglasses, the Wing Eagle title. So this is a cool piece to have, and he's gonna go up all up there. That's where he's going at. So let me get this out of the box. Okay, I got a box cutter here somewhere. I have it over there. Here it is. All right, got the box cutter right here. Let's get this out of the box. Let's see here. I don't want to make the mess up the box here because this is a pretty nice box, and I always recycle these. I'm gonna cut that little tape. I messed it up a bit, but hey, here we are. Here it is. He's almost out of there. Tape. And here. Trying to get his hand out of there. There you go. Sweet. This is really nice, guys. Holding it in my hand in person is pretty cool. I like how they did the boots and the artistic all around this figure, bro. Just look at it. Oh, let me put the light here. Just look at it. Like, it's so cool. And then there's the pink shades right here. There's the WWE Wing Eagle title. He was a great champion back in the day, and he actually wore this against Yokozuna at WrestleMania. I think at both WrestleMania 9 and WrestleMania 10. He wore this exact attire at WrestleMania where he fought Yokozuna. He lost to Yokozuna at WrestleMania 9, and he won against Yokozuna at WrestleMania 10 for the WWF title. So there you go. What do you think, boss man? Cool figure.
Definitely. I actually got the elite version. When he has the IC title.
Yeah, he won his first IC title. It was at SummerSlam '91. I think it was against Mr. Perfect. It was against Mr. Perfect. So, yeah, man, this is a cool piece to have, and this goes along with all my other Bret Hart figures I have, because I have 2 Jacked Bret Harts, and this is my first ever Mattel Bret Hart figure. I'm glad to have this because it's so cool holding it in my hands right now. And let me see his face scan. It looks sort of like him. They didn't do a very good job with the face scan, but hey, I still keep the figure. That's how the face scan looks, like that. What do you think of it, boss man?
Yeah, that's a little bit more articulate for sure. Like that's definitely different than like the one, you know what I'm saying, the actual, you know what I'm saying, the ultimates or anything like that. That's a little bit more articulate, especially more than the elites, because the elites have nice face scans, but I think it's kind of like still like a basic version of a base scan compared to like the legends or any ultimates.
Right. All right, let's sit in right here. Let's get into TNA. And this is the TNA shirt that I bought. Pretty cool, huh? There's a TNA logo with the red sleeves. And Jeff Hardy actually wore this on Chris Van Vliet's interview. And there's another shirt that I bought from there. Oh, here it is. This is it. This is the I bought 2 shirts from that event. Here it says TNA Genesis right here. So that's what I picked up in Dallas. Got my belt signed, picked up that Bret Hart, and picked up that TNA shirt. But let's get into the show. Okay, me and my cousin got there like 2 hours early. And we got there 2 hours early. We were there since we had floor seats. We were able to get in. I sat second row, and the price was only $125 to sit at second row. And let's see here. The first part of the show, Busted Radio was there. I think that's what the podcast was called. It was with Tommy Dreamer, Gia Miller. I took a picture with her, by the way. And Mark Henry. They were there. I can't remember the host's name. All 3 of them there. They were talking. All 4 of them were there. They were talking about the show, their predictions of tonight's show. And the first part was Miss NXT, Santino Marella's daughter, came out and made an announcement that she's there. And Ashante Theodonis from NXT comes out, which was pretty cool. And it's funny because there's this one promo he said where he was like, Dallas, Texas, home of the Washington Commanders. And he got a lot of heat for that for the fans. And that was a funny line right there by Ashanti Theodonis. Seems like he's doing good without Hit Row. I mean, I haven't seen his performance in NXT. What can you tell me about him?
I feel like he's doing a great job. He doesn't get enough effing credit, respectfully, because I think a lot of people expected him to sink without Hit Row, and he been killing it without, respectfully. He really has. Him and B-Fab both. Like, don't get me wrong, my man. Shout out to my man AJ Francis, Top Dollar. He is killing it over there on the indie scene and in TNA himself. But like, these 2 are still holding it down in WWE on their own, also.
Absolutely. And what else? The first match of the show was him versus Jake Something. That's an odd name for a wrestler, Jake Something. And Jake Something beats him. That was a decent match to start off the pre-show. And the pre-show had like 2 matches. But the best pre-show match was Leon Slater versus Frankie Kazarian. And that match was a banger. And I actually uploaded my TNA vlog on my MTG Gaming YouTube channel. So I hope you check that out. I know Boss Man, he's going to promote it out there. I forgot to mention that earlier to him. And yeah, that was a really good match between Leon Slater and Frankie Kazarian. Leon Slater, I see a lot of potential in him. I see him winning the X Division Champion World title. Not really sure because he's just starting. Maybe down the line. Seeing how his X Division title run goes, which I think he's going to win it. We'll see how that goes. And I think that'll determine if he's ready for a World Champion or not. If he defends the belt well. Well, that's up to creators. Not really up to him. So, what else? It's funny when Frankie Kazarian, because there was the guy right in front of me who was sitting front row, the very front row. He was like, "Did y'all see this guy? Did I see this guy outside?" see this guy outside? Was he sleeping out there? He called him homeless. That was too funny. Frankie Kazarian is a good heel. I feel like Frankie Kazarian is more entertaining now than he was back in the day. Frankie Kazarian has always been a really great wrestler. He's a 5-time X Division champion, or 4-time X Division champion, one of those. He's just TNA is right where he needs to be, and TNA is his home. I don't see him going anywhere else. He's gonna retire as a TNA wrestler, and that's his home. At the end of the day. All right, and then Frankie Kazarian picks up the win against Leon Slater. The Leon Slater gave him a run for his money. Okay, let's see what happened next. Pulling up my notes here on my PlayStation. Oh yeah, and Frankie Kazarian beats him by a roll-up. All right, and then the very first, and then they started off the show. First, they started off with Ace Austin versus Moose for the TNA X Division champion. And Moose changed the belt. All he did was change the strap to red. It looks like red from Further Me. Some people were telling me that it was like a dark orange, something like that. Which I'm not really sure what that color is. Maybe if I see it on TV, because I didn't watch TNA tonight because I got home late from work. And all they did was just change the strap. They did, but that was a great match between Ace Austin and Moose, and that was one of my favorite matches of the night. Moose beats him by a spear, and Moose caught him in like 3 or 2 spears. I think one spear he got him in was when he jumped off the second turnbuckle. I think that's what it was. Let me see. Okay, and I'm watching the video that I recorded. So I can tell y'all, Ace Austin got him in the roll-up. Moose kicks out. Ace Austin kicks him. Ace Austin goes for the. Oh, that's how he got Moose got him from behind, because he tried to do like a springboard from the second rope, and then Moose speared him from behind, and then Moose speared him again. Then 1, 2, 3. Damn, that was a banger match between Moose and Ace Austin. And then later on, the System tries to come out. Well, during the match, I forgot to mention this. The System tries to help. That was after the match. After the match, the System, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, they all came out to help to beat down Ace Austin for a bit. And then Eric Young and Steve Macklin comes out. Now we got ourselves a tag match. And we get the System, Brian Myers, and Eddie Edwards versus Eric Young and Steve Macklin. Steve Macklin is a damn good wrestler, and so is Eric Young. And Eric Young, the only 2 OGs right now in TNA is Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian. And that was a pretty good tag match. Like, there is really no disappointing match on the card, to be honest with you, in this event. And let's see here, and Eric Young, no matter how old he gets, he still got it. Okay, and then the ending of the match was Macklin doing the double arm DDT to Brian Myers, and then the count 1, 2, 3, and that's how the System picked. That's how Steve Macklin and Eric Young picked up the victory during that match. Okay, and now the next match was for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Spitfire, Jody Threat, Danny Luna versus Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance. That was a really great tag match, and both Heather by Elegance and Ash by Elegance came out in Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, because they were in Dallas. They're supposed to be heels, but they were still getting cheered on. Oh wait, I didn't even ask for Boss Man's opinions for some of these matches. What do you think about the X Division title match, Boss? Sorry for leaving you out.
Oh, no, you perfectly fine, man. I was going to actually just wait till you got to Jordan Grace and Tessa Blanchard, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I was just say, because I'm not going to lie, I seen like some of it, but I didn't see all of it myself. And that was like the very first match I clicked on, like when I clicked into it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I seen like most of everything after that.
Gotcha. And the Knockouts tag match was pretty good. And I think Danny Luna and Jody Threat would do good in the women's tag division in WWE if they wanted to. Those ladies can actually go. If Ash and Heather by Elegance, I'm pretty sure they're gonna push Ash later on in the future as a single star. I mean, do I see this team wearing the Knockouts tag titles one day? Most likely. And Heather by Elegance, I see that she's young, and I feel like she has a bright future in TNA. I see potential in her as being one of the best future knockouts that TNA will have. And Jody Threat, Spitfire, they're a damn good tag team. There's this part where Jody Threat does like a back body drop, I think, and there's a part where and she just threw the heck out of Heather by Elegance. Heather by Elegance is small, and Jody Threat just threw her around. Put a fall away slam and then closes line her in the corner a few times. And then does like a Michinoku driver and then goes for a count, 1, 2. And Ash comes in and saves it for her partner. Then Danny comes in. And then Ash throws Danny out of the ring. Now Heather and Jody are in the ring together. And Heather tries to go for the pin, and then she kicks out. And there's a part where they were trying to double team Jody. Heather was about to headbutt Jody while Ash was holding her up, and then headbutt Ash instead because Jody ducks out of the way. Jody's a damn good wrestler. Jody chops both of them at the same time. Both of her feet get stomped. They throw Jody to the turnbuckle. Jody reverses, and then Jody gets up on the top turnbuckle and does like a freaking split on both Ash and Heather by Elegance. Like, this match was pretty damn good, bro. Like, it was just nothing but action packed all around. And Spitfire retains, and they did like their finisher. I forgot how it goes. Their finisher was pretty awesome. So that was a damn good tag match by both of these lady teams. Okay, next up was Tessa, the one that you've been waiting for, boss man. Tessa Blanchard versus Jordynne Grace. Damn, that was the best match of the night. My cousin, that's not even a wrestling fan, he was like he wanted to watch every storyline leading up to this paper, and I don't blame him because these damn matches were so damn good. And Jordynne Grace and Tessa Blanchard, match of the night. No other match was better than that one. And at the end of the match, Tessa picks up the win, and Tessa was getting a lot of heat from the crowd. I won't mention what they said. And Jordynne Grace,
we can definitely mention.
I think this is her last match.
We can talk about it now.
Okay. I didn't record that.
95. You was probably saying this yourself.
Actually, I did not know anything about that racist comment.
How did you not know anything about this?
I probably did. I just forgot about it. I don't even remember that. Maybe I knew about it back in the day, but I didn't remember.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been put back long enough where it's easy, in my opinion, to forget if you just don't know who Tessa Blanchard is. Like, if you don't know who Tessa Blanchard is, it's easy to be like, well, why are people? You know what I'm saying? So,
I get you. I was watching her in 2018 when she had a breakout year in Impact and AAA, but I do not recall what exactly she said with those racist comments. Maybe I knew her.
I guess it was like bullying, racist comments, and it was several people, like now even WWE superstars that was formerly in TNA with her spoke out against her, like such as Alba Fire, Elsa Dawn, of course Chelsea Green. But yeah, like she's been spoke out about a couple times.
Yeah, she pretty much has a bad reputation in the women's locker room, and a couple of talent wasn't happy when they brought her back. And she was doing meet and greets after the show, but was it really worth taking a picture with her?
I
So
mean, if
I don't
you
know. I
wanted
mean,
that heat on you, I guess.
I don't know. I feel like when you do stuff like that, your value goes down, and people will always think of the negative instead of the positive.
You could definitely see this with her. And usually it's like, well, it's kind of like, well, you would want to give it a second chance. You think everybody deserves. But sometimes I guess like when you're in this part of the world, we're in the 20th century, and it's just
Yeah,
like you can tell people are just like that. We don't have time for it.
yeah, and she also has anger management problems, from what I've been hearing from other talent as well. She walked out of the company when she was their world champion, which I found ridiculous. That was the last time I watched TNA because I didn't want to see her as my world champion. And so yeah, that was the best match of the night. But she's a damn good wrestler. She's always has been. It's just she just has personal problems. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Jordan loses. She wins. I think it was like a. Let me see. The finish was a. It was like a code breaker from the top row, and that was pretty cool how she mastered that and beats Jordan.
I don't know.
And
You can't
looks
take
like
nothing
Jordan is
from
going
Tessa
to.
in the ring. Tessa's a
Yeah, of
beast
course
in the
not.
ring.
Yeah, she is. It's just that, like I said, the comments kind of like will eclipse that and like won't give a damn about that.
Always.
It's pretty much yeah, it pretty much happens with people in the
I'm not
past
trying to be
that done
funny. Literally, Chris Benoit is one of them.
exactly. Hulk Hogan is one of them. Hulk Hogan is one of them too.
Yeah, correct. So it's just like it doesn't matter. I think sometimes they think that their wrestling legacy will live on past what the shit they've done, and it's just like, nah, man.
Yep. And then the next match was this match was probably the least favorite, even though it was still average. It was Josh Alexander versus Mike Santana, an I Quit match. And both Josh and Jordan basically had made a sign that they're not going to be with TNA anymore. They're both going to WWE. And TNA will still be all right because TNA, they're not afraid to sign talent. They just signed Mustafa Ali now. And yeah, we'll see. And as far as this match goes, it was mainly Josh having the offense all night, was trying to make Santana quit. And there was this part where he literally took off Santana's boot in a wrestling show, and what you call was messing that foot up with that chair, and that made me cringe in the crowd. And that was a crazy match. And I seen 2 table spots, but I couldn't really see them clear because I was on the other side of the ring. The table spots were like in the other side of the ring, or the opposite side where I was at. And both of these guys put up a great match. And Mike Santana, they're going to push him. I really think TNA is invested in him. I don't know if as a world champion, but he might win that X Division title first before he wins that world champion. I mean, Mike Santana is really good, and he's doing really good without Ortiz, even though I hated to see them break up and see how the way their relationship ended, because I've always loved Santana and Ortiz when they were together in TNA. And Santana, he's really good. He is really good, and I'm looking forward to see what they do with him as a singles competitor. Boss man, what do you think of this match?
I agree with you 100%, man. I'm looking forward to see what they do with my boy Mike Santana. I'm not gonna lie, man. I think TNA losing Josh is a little different. Seeing Josh in WWE is gonna be different. So no matter where he go, even if he don't go to WWE, just seeing Josh anywhere else outside of TNA is gonna be different. But hey, let's get on the ride.
Yeah, and Josh has basically been the franchise. Almost been. I mean, I always put Moose at number 1 as TNA's best talent. I put Josh at number 2. I always had Moose over Josh. And Josh is a damn good wrestler in the ring. It's just that they might send him to NXT just so he can work on his his mic skills. I think that's the main reason why they want to put him on NXT and also team up with Ethan Page. I don't know nothing at all about their history. I just know about Josh, meaning as TNA World Champion, he actually beat Bobby Roode's record as the longest reigning TNA champion. So, and Josh Alexander always defended that title, and he was a damn good champion. And he was like the Canadian version of Kurt Angle. So, yeah. So after that, Mike Santana got on the offense with him, and then he and I think he had like some sort of thing that types stuff, but he was tying it around Josh Alexander's hands, and then he was gonna like use his arm and put his foot on his back and try to like let go of the arm and use the foot to put all the pressure on steel steps, and that's what made Josh quit before he did it. And then after the match, both guys shook hands, and Mike Santana basically said that you gave me your word. You're gonna shake my hand and say that I'm ready for this company, to be the face of this company, because Josh Alexander, they consider him as one of the best in this company as well. And Josh Alexander literally said after shaking his hand, "I quit TNA wrestling." I said, "Yep, he's going to WWE." And I feel like they were trying to get him to stay. That's why they gave him his own faction. They made him turn heel. I feel like they really tried the best to try to make him stay, but Josh is going after bigger things. He's a damn good wrestler. And now this next match was really the highlight for me, because like I said before, MTG's all-time favorite tag team is the Hardy Boys. But before we get into that, I think we have a mail call, don't we?
Yes, sir, we do.
Oh, okay, I'll go check the mail. All right.
As we're doing the mail call and got the mail call running, guys, we will come back with the mail call after a brief word from our sponsors.
Yep.
Yo, FTW gang. I know, it's a little different seeing your boy Mr. FTW not behind the bright lights with his championship belt. I'm in the car. I'm in the FTW bucket, man. With that being said, I gotta let you guys know. Yes, shout out to Real. But yes, that being said, here, 5 to 7 business days a week. If you want to be a paid sponsor, all you got to do is hit me up, man. We run live 5 through 7 business days a week, and we go live on 5 different platforms, gang. 5 different platforms. You can go out there and reach, really reach the numbers you really want to reach. Let us help you do that. And with that being said, man, I always want to give a shout out to all our sponsors. So shout out to all the paid sponsors if you are a paid sponsor already. And shout out to the ones that are out there that's going to become a sponsor in the future. And with that being said, man, it's your boy, Mr. FTW. I don't want to hold up any more of your time. So we're going to play.
Down M13 through Genesee, I-75 is the home for me. Can be, and
as you already know, that is Matt's Wrestling Collectibles right here on YouTube. Today, guys, a milestone video, a huge video, one that I was talking about a few videos back, a few new figure pickup videos back. We were talking about this right here. It is none other than episode 50 of new figure pickups. It is crazy to think that this YouTube started back up again after so many years of being away. We started back up in June of 2022. Here we are, a little over 2 years later, 50 episodes later of new figure pickups. I told you guys it was going to be a good one. It was going to be a big one. We're going to try to make sure that we don't make this.
All right, and now we're finna play our boy MTG's mail call.
Here it is. This what came into the mail. WrestleMania, the arcade game that came out for the PS1 back in 1994. No, 95. This is a very fun game. I played it with my cousin during Christmas break. And you get to play as 8 wrestlers: Doink the Clown, Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Yokozuna, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Lex Luger. So this is the game. It's pretty fun. It's pretty hard to beat as well. That's what makes it fun. And this is have you ever played this game before, Boss Man?
I have not.
Yeah, it's made by Acclaim, and it's kind of like how I think the people that have Mortal Kombat kind of made this game. And all the wrestlers have special moves. All of them have decent moves and everything. The graphics are very good. And I saw on YouTube behind the scenes of how they filmed this. The people that I like to play as in this game is The Undertaker, Razor Ramon, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Lex Luger. Those are the people that I like to play as. And so this is a really fun game. I did win the Intercontinental Champion in this game. The World Wrestling Federation title, that's going to be hard to beat. I still haven't beaten it yet. So overall, this is a fun game. The first time I discovered it was when I was a kid. A friend of mine had it. A friend of mine had it. He had a PS1, and him and we played the piss out of this, and we both were having fun playing this. He was always Bam Bam Bigelow, and I was always The Undertaker. And yeah, overall, this is a great game. I mean, this is the only best game that the WWF had really in the 90s, and Vince McMahon should be ashamed of himself giving his product to these terrible game designers that, LJN, I don't know if you guys heard of that. LJN has always made the most terrible games on Super Nintendo and NES. But they did not make this one. I'm glad the WWF picked Acclaim to make this. So overall, this is a great game. And I would recommend any ones from back in the day. I wouldn't recommend the NES ones. I would recommend this one that also came out on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. So moving forward, that's what came in the mail today. All right, now the next match was, like I said, the Hardys versus the Rascals, and seeing the Hardys wrestle live in person will always be one of my favorite moments of my wrestling fandom life. And seeing them go at it with the Rascals, it was pretty fun. The whole match was fun to watch. And there was a part where I said, "I love you, Jeff," and then he literally responded to me and saying, "I love you too." So yeah, and I appreciate that from Jeff. And like I said earlier in the video, both Hardy Boys signed my United States title. And I told Jeff that, yeah, man, I remember you beat Jinder Mahal for this belt, and Matt, you beat MVP for this belt. And I'm glad I got it both signed, got a picture with them, and etc. So this is probably the best signature I have on my belts out of the other belts I have, because I have a World Heavyweight and I have an Intercontinental title signed by a few people. And so this one was probably my favorite signed one, this U.S. title. So I will always cherish it, and I always have it, because the Hardy Boys, love you guys. MTG, yeah, MTG's all-time favorite tag team. So there you have it. Well, yeah, and getting to the match, it was for the TNA Tag Team Champions. It was pretty fun. Hardys being the Hardys, doing the moves that they normally did, and the Rascals gave them a run for their money, and the place erupted when the Hardys came out, and there was more people when I was at the meet and greet on the Saturday. More people were in line for the Hardys than they were with any other talent. I mean, the people that I took a picture with was Hardys, Nick Nemeth, and Ash by Elegance, Rosemary. Those are the 4 talents that I took a picture with when I was there. And yeah, one of the highlights of the match was both guys were down. Matt and Jeff. Matt does like a belly to back. Trey Miguel reverses, and Jeff does like an axe handle on his back. And Jeff tries to do a back body drop, but Trey Miguel reverses again. Zachary Wentz gets tagged in, and both parties go after Zachary Wentz, but Zachary Wentz came up on the offense. Zachary Wentz does a high flying move, or was going to do a high flying move, because I forgot to mention this. Axiom and Nathan Frazier, my tag partner Nathan Frazier, as you all know, since these guys call me Axiom. And they were there, both Axiom and Nathan Frazier. It was cool to see them there. The place erupted when they came out, and the place erupted when Roxanne Perez came out. But not Roxanne Perez. When Cora Jade came out, and we'll get into that later on. And yeah, and looks like we're gonna get. And I think tonight we had the Rascals versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom for the NXT Tag Champions. I didn't get to watch Impact tonight, but this match was really damn good. Both were bringing a lot of high flying. They were bringing a lot of energy, and the fans were getting into it, mainly because of the Hardys. You gotta love the Hardy Boys, you know? And I can't wait to see them back in WWE. I mean, I'm glad that they're in TNA now, but we all know where their home is, WWE. So, Zay, give me your thoughts on this tag match.
Easily a banger. My second match of the night outside of Jordan Grace and Tessa Blanchard was a great match to see. I always love seeing the Hardys, man. And don't worry, we still will be knocking out the interview with them very soon.
Yes, sir. And of course, I recorded this at the right time, and it's on my YouTube channel. Matt does the Twist of Fate, and Jeff does the Swanton. I had to record it, and I did it. Mission accomplished by MTG. Seeing my favorite tag team do that live in person. Seeing these guys wrestle in general in person was just an amazing experience. So yep. So the Hardys retained. And these fans, they just love the Hardy Boys. Okay, next match for the TNA Knockouts champion. Rosemary versus the TNA Knockouts champion Masha Slamovich. It was in a street hardcore match, and both ladies put up it was all right, you know. And the only part that trips me out is that there's literally a gate door and nobody used it. And Masha used a few trash can lids on Rosemary, and Masha was beating the hell out of Rosemary with the trash can lid. And then Rosemary gets back on the offense, puts a sleeper hold on her. And then Rosemary gets stapled gun on her armpit and on her armpit by Masha Slamovich. Dang, that was cringy to watch. Even live in person, it's even more cringy. So Rosemary is about to put Masha through a barbed wire play, but Masha picks her up and slams her through the barbed wire play. And I was like, oh. And it's more cringier when you guys see stuff like that in person. Seeing someone get put through a barbed wire plate. In TNA, that's one of TNA's famous weapons, using that barbed wire plate. And also Janice. That's actually Abyss's weapon. It's like a black 2x4 thing, and then has like nails or something sharp on there. And Rosemary gets it out. And what else? And then Rosemary tries to hit Masha with it. And both Masha and her are going up the stage. Something happened on stage. I didn't really get to see what happened on stage because, it was kind of hard to see from that angle. And Rosemary does hit Masha with Janice, and then cuts her with Janice. I think it was on the back. And then on the stage, Rosemary did like a spear or a suplex. I couldn't really see because it was hard to see from that area that I sat at. And I think she was pouring out thumbtacks I think it was thumbtacks, and then Rosemary did something to her. Hold on, wait, let me see if I have it recorded. Oh, Masha almost pushed her off the stage. Oh, Rosemary spears Masha on the thumbtacks, and Masha's back is all bleeding. And then Rosemary sets up like 6 chairs in front of each other, and then she was gonna jump on top of Masha to do like a move, and then Masha gets up on time before Rosemary jumps, and then Masha gets on the turnbuckle with Rosemary. He's gonna try to put her through, and she did it. And she put Rosemary through. She did like a power driver on all those chairs, and that's how Masha won the match. And Masha Slamovich is still your TNA Knockouts champion. And then after that, Cora Jade comes out. The place erupted. I haven't really seen much from Cora Jade, so it looks like we're gonna get a Masha versus Cora Jade feud, and it's gonna be over the TNA title, and it's gonna be on either NXT or TNA TV. Which I hope it takes place at a TNA pay-per-view. But overall, boss man, what do you think of this match? I think it was a good one.
Oh no, it was definitely solid. It was good to see her for sure.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And both looked at each other eye to eye. Basically, they're gonna fight each other for the TNA Knockouts Championship. Okay, main event time. Joe Hendry versus the wanted man, Nick Nemeth, for the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Joe Hendry finally won the match. This was a good match, but this match was not better than the one that they had at Bound for Glory, which Joe Hendry should have won because Bound for Glory is one of their biggest pay-per-views. So it would have been better if it was there instead of Genesis. But overall, I'm glad that Joe Hendry got it, and I knew Joe Hendry was the right guy to take the belt off Nick Nemeth. I thought he was going to win at Bound for Glory, but I still believe that Joe was going to win to beat Nick for the TNA World Champion. And I'm glad TNA finally put the World Champion on Joe Hendry, one of their best wrestlers they have right now. Like, if you ask me for a top 4, I'm going to say in TNA right now, I'm going to say Moose, Josh Alexander, Jordan Grace, and Joe Hendry. Those would be my top 4. And
all I'm gonna say,
yeah, these two put up a banger.
Remember what I told you? I gotta stop you right here because remember what me and you talked about, and what I talked about. I was like, I feel some type of way because we waited too long on Joe Hendry to win this.
Yep.
And I'm still gonna stay firm to that, bro. We still waited too long.
Right.
Like, yes, it was a good moment. Yep. I was excited for him, no, without a doubt. But we waited too long. Like he you know how many opportunities he's had to win that and didn't do it, and now all of a sudden it's like he's only doing it because it feels like they need to do it. I feel like TNA felt like they need to do it because they're going to a new era and they're losing a lot of people, and it's like, okay, now let's get the fans what they want. Now let's get the fans what they want. Until then, they didn't have no plans.
Mm-hmm. That is true, and I'm glad they did that. And then Frankie Kazarian almost cashed in his Call Your Shot trophy, but JBL comes out and clotheslines him. And I thought JBL was going to clothesline Joe Hendry again, but this time Joe Hendry notices that and then does something to JBL. And then I think Nick Nemeth almost pinned him like twice, and it was just a damn good match. And there was a lot of He was going everywhere. Yeah, that call your shot part, and bro, the fans pop when JBL comes out because it's JBL, you know. JBL, Hall of Famer, had a great career in wrestling, part of the APA, and being John Bradshaw Layfield really elevated his career. And Ryan Nemeth got banned from ringside, but he bought a ticket so he could be at this event. And JBL just clotheslined both Frankie Kazarian and Ryan Nemeth, and that was a great match. And Joe Hendry does a fallaway slam, gets hyped up, gets the crowd hyped up. Hold on, let me see what else happens because I have it recorded here. Oh, don't do this to me right now. Joe Hendry does a fallaway, jumps back up, gets the crowd hyped up, and then goes for his finisher. Boom. And then 1, 2, 3, and we have a new TNA champion. If you watch my video later, bro, you're going to see how I jumped up for a bit, and everybody was screaming. Everybody was happy that they finally got to see Joe Hendry win the TNA World Champion, and I got to witness history. So my very first TNA event was awesome. And this is probably, I've been to a lot of wrestling events, and this has to be like my second favorite wrestling event. WrestleMania 38 will always be number 1 for me. And this one would be number 2, and who knows, I might update this list because I am going to AEW All In July. So yeah, and there you go. That's the show. So if I get a 5-star rating out of how many stars, it'll definitely be a 5. I really enjoyed that show, and the best part was I was there and I was sitting second row. I really had a blast, and hell, when I came back to Florida on the flight, I did not feel like coming back. I wanted the event to go even longer, you know. So I really had a really great time. And when I got back to work, I wasn't at 100% because I was still on weekend vacation mode in Dallas. So, but I'll be there in Dallas again. Can't wait for AEW All In. And that's my review of the TNA Genesis. What do you think? What do you give this show, boss man?
Easily a 5 out of 5, man. TNA been tearing down the house on their pay-per-views.
Absolutely, including their shows, bro. Like, I can't believe we all slept hard on Nakoma on them. Would you agree?
I do.
Yeah. And yeah, so TNA. So that's it for tonight's show, people. And I had a blast, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is MTG Gaming saying good night to everybody. And if you ever find my YouTube channel, it's on the click on the search bar, put MTG Gaming WWE, and you'll see a profile picture of me on WWE 2K24 with all 3 of my belts, which is the World Heavyweight, the Intercontinental, and the US Champion. And that's about it. I hope I see y'all next Thursday for TNA.
Next Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Next Thursday, we'll talk some TNA, and plus, we'll talk some WWE 2K25. So make sure you don't miss next Thursday's show.
Yes, sir. And you'll sometimes see me pop up on Monday, or on Wednesday, or Fridays, or a WWE pay-per-view event. Your boy will always show up, and it will most of the time show up anytime. You cut out
the hardest working man on the team.
But alrighty, guys. Peace out, and glad you enjoyed me for my mail call and my Bret Hart review as well, and everything else I brought back to that. Have a good night, people.